This horse's name is Stash. He just came in yesterday. The owner didn't have any specific issues other than he just is too green for her. And this is going to be the first time that I've worked him. And we're going to talk about what I see. This is just a plain smooth mouth D-ring snaffle. Bridled up really nice, opened his mouth right up. No ear issues. Probably needs to come down one hole. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's a light rain on the roof. Not real hard, but enough that I can hear. And right there, these little things like he's taking his head away, I can understand where that would kind of worry a beginner rider. Not exactly sure exactly how beginner his owner is. I think they've been riding a while, but I'm not sure how much confidence she has. So that could be playing into it. We'll see. When I'm trying a horse that I don't know, I like to saddle them out here just in case they buck or do something bad. Not necessarily going to do a lot or any groundwork, just going to depend on what I see. Now you saw right there, he was just looking at that saddle pad, looking at it like, and now he's going to look at the saddle. That could go several ways. He could be looking at it just curious and looking at it, or it could be looking at it because he's not exactly sure what it is. So we'll see. That could be telling me he's very green. Might just be curious, might not mean anything. I'll take that along with the other things that I find and put it together to decide exactly what my opinion of him is. Let this girth down one hole. Center my pad up a little bit. They're moving around a little bit, but not terribly bad. Dogs barking in the barn aisle. We actually just fed everybody. He just got half a scoop because I wanted to work him. He'll get the rest of his supper afterwards. A little bit fidgety there when I brought the girth up to him. Kind of turned his head around there to look. Nothing too drastic. Let's move him around a little bit before I get it too tight. It's not very tight at all. Not even tight enough to stay on if he was to go off bucking. And while I'm tight, and then I'm paying attention to their ears, how they act. Right there, I let it flop down a little bit. I wanted to see if he pinned his ears when it flopped down or not. Doesn't really act like he wants to bow his back up. Doesn't seem like he particularly wants to be bad. He just seems pretty green. I know she told me how old he is. It's in my paperwork. I don't remember off the top of my head. He's younger. He's not young, but he's not an older horse, I don't believe. Let me go ahead and attach to the snaffle. See his head pop up when that rain came over. Made a little bit of a popping sound. Not enough that it should have bothered him, but he got his attention. So what I'm saying is he is acting green, acting unsure, acting not confident. I got to find out if he really is, or if he has learned to act that way to get a release. Happens a lot. When a horse will act unconfident, just like, that's going to be too short to put there. Just like when you teach a horse to desensitize or despook or to ignore something, you want to take that thing away while their feet are still. If you take it away while their feet are moving, a lot of times you'll instill a negative response. And a lot of times when horses do things and we back off, usually for our own safety, which is probably the smart thing to do for our own safety, but the horse learns that it gets the release when it does this thing. And that's just how all horse training is. It does a thing, a movement, a back, a steer, whatever it is, and it gets a release. But when a person that's not confident backs off, when the horse starts to do something that they're not comfortable with or it worries them, then the horse learns that it can get the release when it does that thing. See the head come up? His back's not rounded. I am going to wait for him to get his feet still before I swing my leg over. But a horse can learn to do a thing, a movement, a stop, a steer, whatever. Let's get the feet moving. When, not really when the horse is doing the thing we want. I had a situation in the wash rack a while back that I talked about where the horse was swinging his butt away and the owner was taking the water away. And the horse got still. The owner applied the water again. Horse swung his butt away. The owner took the water away. And the horse was learning that if he moved, the scary thing went away. And that happens a lot. He's not wanting to go. Let's see if we can get some forward. That happens a lot and a lot of horses. So just pulling on my hands a little bit. Let's pull on this left rein. Pulling on my hands again. Let's just hold this left rein here. I'm not going to tolerate one just pulling on her nose to get the reins away from my hands. Let's get some circles going. Get some circles going. See how he's wanting to bring his head away to look over there. That is probably the root of a lot of the issues that I need to deal with. All I'm doing here is holding the head to the left, bumping with my legs, asking the horse to move forward. I don't have any spurs or anything on. Just want movement. Every time the feet move, I'll stop bumping. Horse gets still, I'll bump again. But I'm going to continue to hold the horse's head to the side because, see how he's trying to root the reins away from my hands. He needs to learn to give his face. Now, you can do the flex, and when the horse gives, you throw the rein back. That's how you teach a horse to give that doesn't know. This horse knows, and I can tell he knows because he gave when I picked the rein up. But what he didn't do is continue to give when I held, because I'm holding and he's trying to pull the rein back. This is what happens when you continue to throw the rein right back and not ask that horse to hold its head longer, because as long as I'm steering left, the horse needs to steer left. It's not a matter of teaching to give. This horse knows to give, What this horse don't know is to keep doing what I tell you to do. Keep steering left if I ask you to steer left. Notice I'm not using any verbal cues. At this point, that's pointless. I need to bump. I need to drive from the back end. I just did a post not long ago about the importance of riding the horse into movement. And riding into movement engages the back end, teaches the horse to round up. Now see right there, he's trying to, I'm not going to give him his head. Pull my hand out, pull the head around. Now let's go forward. I'm going to give a release so I get back up here. Better view of the camera. So I did a post about the importance of riding a horse into the movement. And in this situation right here, that's what I need. The horse needs to ride into that forward. Push with his back end into the forward. He's very, very heavy on his front end. See right there, he's just moving his back end around his front end. I have to fix the mental stuff of him not wanting to do what's asked of me, but I also have to fix the physical stuff of him, teaching him to use his body correctly. See right there, I picked up the left rein, his head came around really soft. But he has to continue to bring his head around. If I say bring your head around, right there, as soon as I made contact and didn't release for a second or so, he started trying to pull the slack back. Not acceptable. Not acceptable. Yes, I bumped on his face. Yes, I kicked. I'm sure I'm going to get a comment about not bumping on the horse's face, not jerking on his mouth. Well, the owner is going to appreciate when the horse doesn't do that anymore. Got to go forward. Got to go forward, and you've got to keep giving your head to me. I'm working on basically one mental thing here and one physical thing. That spook right there is him trying to intimidate me. I'm sure he's done that with the owner. That's all that was trying to intimidate me to give his head back. A learned behavior. That's why I needed to bump. He has learned at some point that he could do that spook and get the release in his face. He's not going to get that release with a spook. He gets that release by following his nose forward. The mental thing is to do what I ask you to do until I tell you to do something different. The physical thing is to walk. Engage the back end and walk. I don't have spurs on. Next time I will put spurs on. This kind of thing right here is exactly why you should ride with spurs. Right there, see his ears go forward? Exactly why you should ride with spurs, because I need to be picking his shoulders up. And I can't do that with this kick. I took the spurs off because I wasn't sure what he was going to do. I didn't want to accidentally gig him with my spurs, but I'll have them on next time. See right there, he sticks his head up, his ears go forward. I've talked a whole bunch about the importance of paying attention to the ears. His head comes up and his ears go forward. He's trying to tell me that what I want is not important, that what he wants is more important. There's all kind of ways that you can handle this, but this is the way that I have found, kick forward, that is the safest for me, the safest for the horse. Forward. When I ride in tomorrow, I'll have a spur so I can roll on this inside and lift this inside shoulder. I'm going to get more accomplished there, but right now I'm going to get forward. Nope, not pulling your head away from it. Now we're going to go the other way. Forward, forward, forward. See the head go up, ears go forward. That's when I'm going to kick harder. That ear needs, there we go. That ear needs to come back on me when I ask him to do something. Getting a little softer on this right rein because he's getting a little softer on my hand. Let's go back forward again. Steer to the left again. This horse seems very green. He seems, and a lot of horses, and I see it a lot with horses that I start, if you can't get them to go, you can't teach them to whoa. And you can't teach whoa if the horse won't go. And if you have a horse that always goes and you're trying to teach him to rate slow down, then you can't really teach your walk on cue. I suspect that's kind of where he was, and because of that there were some holes that got missed when he was started. But just from riding him, I don't think that those holes was intentionally missed, isn't really the word. I think that they couldn't be taught at that time. Let's go. And in the process of why they couldn't be taught at that time, he learned some little tricks to get out of work. Now, I've got his ears back on me better now. I'm going to walk, let him walk a little bit bigger circle. And when his ears go forward, I expect it to come back on me right there. They're not coming back on it. There, I kicked that right ear, came back. This is more the mind that I'm wanting. See him looking to the right, looking in the barn. Steer to the left and kick. I want that ear to come back on me when I ask for something. Right there, when I picked up my left rein, he actually gave it pretty good. I think this horse has been worked a lot to give his head soft, but never worked to give his head and hold it, because the next step after giving his head is to start rounding the body and lifting the shoulders. You have to do that. You have to advance past that giving and throwing back. I talk about that in a lot of videos, and it's not wrong, it's correct. That's the first thing you need to do. But a lot of beginner trainers that don't know any better, they don't know how to continue to advance the horse, so they never advance past that. Let's turn back to the right there, a little bit of right rein, and he followed around nice. This horse, I can tell this horse has had some work, and some good work, but he needs more work. The good thing is he never, even when he kind of jumped and tried to intimidate me a little bit, I never felt him bow his back up. Doesn't really seem like he wants to buck, and he's way too heavy on his front end rear. I would like him to be a little softer on his front end, a little lighter on his front end. He's very heavy. I'm interested to watch the videos of him moving. And a lot of this rein use that I'm talking about that he needs to go on and advance towards, by not advancing him, doesn't necessarily make them heavier on their front end, but it definitely doesn't help them any. Let's steer to the right. So right there, he's giving his body and he's steering to the right, but I'm not liking how he's steering. There he gave his head that way. when I pick up my right rein, the shoulder's going to the right, but the nose really isn't going to the right. Pick up the left rein, the nose is going to the left, but the shoulder is not really following as good to the left. Horse is very heavy on this right front foot. And progressing horses from green like this on up into a higher level horse, I talk a lot about getting them to soften their front end, to use their body better. That was a little better, but I need more forward. Stop and see what we got for a backup. Not bad. So now I'm gonna back up again, and I'm gonna roll him back to the right. And I bet you he's going to stick on this right front foot in that rollback. Let's see. Right there, see him stick? He should have continued his motion. See him step forward on this front end? That's that front end heavy. Come on, let's go to the left. There, so he stepped around a little better to the left. That right front shoulder is the heavy one. That's what I'm gonna have to do a lot of work. So let's come around and let's turn him into the wall, just at a walk, and let's see how he moves his feet. I bet you he's gonna kind of stick with his front, and the back end's gonna move a good bit. Come at my 45-degree angle. Pick up the hand side of the wall. See the back end move? That was because the front end is heavy. And when you have a horse that's further advanced, let's say you're working on a horse that's spin, and I've seen horses that'll actually step around pretty good, and the front end stepping around, but the back end is stepping out, just like you saw him step out. Well, that step out in the spin, a lot of people try to address it by moving the shoulder over, but the issue is or by pushing the hip back, because the hip is going this way. So a lot of people try to address it by pushing the hip back, but actually the issue is the shoulder is too heavy, and what you have to do is lift that shoulder up, and when you lift the shoulder up and lighten the shoulder, that step to the outside and the back gets fixed. That was better. Let's go forward. And that's real important. This forward is real important because I need the spine to act like a spring. Round the spine, collect it up, engage this hip, and lift this shoulder. That's why I have to have push from the back end. Push from the back end is half of the equation. Right there, see how he's kind of hanging on my hand? He's not really bringing the shoulder. There we go. Now let's go forward. There we go. So a couple things with this horse. When you look at how soft he is laterally, you wouldn't think leverage bit. But because of this shoulder being so heavy, and when I go to lift this hand, I lift the hand and I'm getting the back going out. I'm not really getting the shoulder lifted. Next ride, I'm gonna put my low port leverage bit on him, not because I need it to stop, but because I need that leverage to help round his neck and lift the shoulder. And then I'll have a spur on to help lift the shoulder also. Could I get that done with a snaffle? I could, but it would take way longer, and I can get it taught with the leverage bit, taught the position taught, and then come back to the snaffle, and it'll be there in the snaffle. It's all a matter of using the right tool to teach the thing that needs to be taught. A lot of people leave horses in snaffle bits for years, and they'll say, oh, that's all the bit that I need. But the actual picture is he needs help. He needs help with this shoulder. He needs help with engaging the back end. And you're not going to get that help with this snaffle bit. It's all a matter of putting the right tool on the horse to teach the thing that I need to teach. So this is Stash. I will have a playlist on YouTube. I'll have a link here somewhere so you could follow his progress. And we'll see how it all goes. Until next time, thank you for watching.